Pheas software. Today I'm going to do an unboxing on this Eagle M923A DEK762. Just kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Let's see how we get on. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do consider liking, commenting, subscribing, because those interactions help me get seen by the YouTube algorithms. That helps the channel to grow. You want to support the channel a little bit more, all of my socials and my Discord are on the Linktree link down in my description. Please do come by and say hello to me. I'm on there on the Discord quite a fair bit. If you want to support the channel even more, the join button down below will take you to channel memberships. It's 99p a month or equivalent in your country. It gives you custom videos, custom giveaways, your own live streams and your own private chat section in my Discord. Totally optional, really appreciate it. So let's get into this. I am no stranger to DE products and I am a massive fan of DE products. I think what they are doing of late, since they launched like the sort of honey badger clone, the I can't even remember what the number was of the first one that I did, with their Falcon control system, absolute outstanding piece of kit. So this is one of their newest versions. So this is the DEK762, which does not coincide with the actual caliber that this would be, but okay, that's fine. Otherwise known as the M923A. So we've got the tan version as voted for by the channel members whilst on my Discord. So I appreciate that, guys. They held a vote and decided they got a little bit more say of things. So standard DE box, you know, nothing really other than just some basic markings. We'll get that out of the way. We've then got some foam covering it. I will remove my receipt because my receipt is still in the box, picking that up. So I've got to get rid of the foam. So we've got, there she is. That's a little pretty piece of kit, pretty damn tiny. So we'll have a quick flick through the manual. So this, as I said, has got a an advanced MOSFET. We use MOSFET as a generic term. It's not technically their real term. That's one of the components within it. It's more sort of a computer within your AEG, but we use MOSFET because it's just what we all sort of go with, common slang I suppose. So manual, more or less the right version as well, which is quite a nice little touch, talking about how to use it, how to remove certain aspects of it and attach the accessories. Oh, there's accessories as well, that is interesting. So we'll have a look at that. Obviously putting a battery in, adjusting your hop unit, cleaning your barrel. Nice little guide. We've got a programming guide, which I have now done a separate video for. It is linked down below for people to go and see, or it will have stealth dropped just before this video, and it is linked down there just for people to come back and see. So it just shows you how to use that. A particularly nice part is the blown up diagram, showing you how all of the parts, apart from the gearbox, are together. That is particularly useful. So get rid of those out of the way. And then we're coming down to the brass tacks of it. So we've got a teeny tiny little mid cap. I think it's about 100 rounds, more or less, might even be less, but it is metal, quite a nice, unusually excessively curved maybe. We've got our little box of accessories, a cleaning rod taped down there. So let's see what we've got in here. So we've got a Dean's connector, which is nice. So you can put a Dean's on your battery. Gotta love the silica gel, always need the silica gel. We've got a Dean's to mini Tamiya connector, a couple of hex head tools, Allen key tools, and then we've got a couple of accessories, so a stopper and some hand grips, which is quite nice. They appear to be M-lock, which means that those rails are M-lock. We've also got a little card in there that tells us about it, its serial number and the FPS it's doing. I'll drop that in there and those in there. So here we go. I'm quite looking forward to this, I'll be honest, because I think it's pretty damn cool looking, and I have quite large expectations of DE now. I think what they're producing is fantastic. Now, first thing I'm going to say is, considering how small it is, there is a surprising amount of heft to that I wasn't expecting it. I'm not saying it's ultra heavy, but there is a surprising weight to it that I wasn't expecting. Now, we have got a full metal handguard there, which is, you know, this sort of blinging bronze. It looks lovely, I'll be honest. I think it looks really nice. So we'll take a start here then. So we've got a metal, I was going to call it a flash hider, but it's more like a cone, I can imagine that that's going to give it quite a nice distinctive crack when it's firing, so I'm looking forward to shooting that. We've then got our M-LOK bronze handguard, so we've got, I'm not sure how accessible these will be on the angle, but technically 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 attaching sections there for our accessories to go on. So the 2 panels can go on the side and the little stop could go on the front there to get our hand up against. Now that is pretty tiny. It is unbelievably tiny. Coming backwards then, we've now got our polymer tan body. We've actually got 3 tones going off on here of tan. What I did forget to mention is our flip up sights. So they are just flip up, the Pheas backup iron sights. They are really nice and easy to target acquire down. See if I can get that. There we go, look. Quite easy. There are 2 apertures on the back. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Is the tiny one more for daylight or high light situations, and the wider one is more for low light situations, or is it more just preference? Somebody correct me on that, please. Well, if you've had enough of those, they just flip down, and if you want to remove them, you've just got an Allen key head or hex head there, and those 2 come off. The muzzle brake is a 14mm negative, and it just unscrews, and the outer barrel comes probably barely a centimetre out of, or barely over a centimetre out of the outer barrel, and that screws back on, and the inner barrel sits almost flush to the sort of to there, which I actually quite like the aesthetic of it. I love the handguard. I think it's lovely. There is a tiny bit of movement, but very, very little. We've then got our charging handle assembly, which I do love, the stylized, little bit trendy, cool charging handle, which does look back. We've got a rotary hop unit, and it is rolled down to apply hop. And our bolt release will work then. Not quite the satisfying sound I would hope for, but you know, we have to forgive it. I do like the colouring on the ejection port, the in there. That's quite nice. We've then got what looked like initially an ambidextrous mag release. It's not, it's just one-sided, but nice and easy to operate. We've then got our selector, really nice enlarged trigger guard there, so even big bulky hands like mine, even in gloves, are in there. We've got a silver trigger, not a flat trigger though. I do like the rounding off, the shaping around here, that is very comfortable. There are not really sharp corners to rub or catch on anything. That's quite nice. Now it is unsafe, but I can pull the trigger, and that's because of the MOSFET system. The physical blocker that stops the trigger is no longer there because it interferes. So the trigger can be pulled, but nothing would happen. You've got semi. Oh, it's ambidextrous as well. Ooh, that's nice. I do like that. So we've got ambidextrous selectors as well, which is a nice little feature. I'll see how those are implemented when I do the disassembly. So I've got safe and we've got auto. It's quite easy and light to push that round, a little bit grindy. I'm guessing that's to do with the gear type system that's been used, so just something to think about. It's possibly going to be quite easy to flick those about. Now that selector is longer than that selector. There's a few mils difference. That one's definitely more longer than this one. Then we're on our stock then, so we've got almost like a tanker style stock. We've got a release button here. If we release that, we can then adjust that. So let's have a look. Fully in. One position, 2 position, 3 position. And then to release it, we're going to compress this lever here and this button here. And that releases our stock. I am just scratching my thing. And then we are into the battery space. It is wired to Dean's. Now I was going to say that's disappointing, something like small. It's actually going sort of right down here. So it's not ultra tiny, but it's also not massive either. But it's part of the issue, I guess, with tanker stocks. We've also got what appears to be a sling loop here, which is quite a handy place to have one. We've then got a quick detach point there and there for quick detach sling loops, if that's what you want. So you could almost run a 2-point if you wanted, or just 1 point on the back would be my preference. I do like the slightly flared mag well, just makes it a little bit easier to get that mag in, locate it and get it in there. So it's quite a stylish little piece, and I can't believe how compact it actually is. It feels tiny, but the front end really adds some heft to it. It is a little bit front heavy, not massively, because you've still got a lot of the weight in the gearbox, which is directly on your hand, but there is a little bit of heft to that. So we're going to go and do the shooting test now. We're going to see how we get on, and I will be back in a moment to see. So maximum 352, minimum 344, average 346. It's quite a good average, that. If I'm going to say anything, I'd say about 60 metres. That is absolutely flying them out there. Wow. About 9.5 rounds a second. Wow. That's loud. Close to 15.5 rounds a second, not quite as fast as I thought, but it sounds nice. It's really loud. And we're back. So I'll start off with the negative. I was a little bit disappointed in the rate of fire. So in terms of the rate of fire then, 7.4 was like 9.5 rounds a second. 9 rounds a second. I was a little bit disappointed in that. I was hoping for a little bit more, particularly with the MOSFET that's in there. Then we got the 11.1. It was only giving us sort of like 15 and a bit rounds a second. Again, I was hoping for sort of 18, 19. That's fairly standard to what we see. So I was a bit disappointed. The FPS though on the chrono, I was really happy. That, don't forget, this has been made ready for the UK market, so if you are buying it outside of the UK, you are likely to get significantly higher. Probably, I would have thought 380 to 400 FPS from the factory would have been about the standard that you would get. So this has been made ready for us. So we got 344 to 352 with 346 as the average. That is really, really good with no hop to cover us for pretty much anywhere in the UK. That's really, really good. The range though, however, this thing has absolutely no right putting out the silly mental range that this was putting out. Easily 60 meters, like without a question. It was absolutely flowing. It barely seemed to need any hop applying to get them out, and it was really just absolutely flying. So really fantastic piece of kit for the range. A little bit disappointed in the rate of fires, but I don't feel like it'll disadvantage it. At the end of the day, it only needs 1 BB to take somebody out of the game, doesn't it? So great little piece of kit in there. Don't forget, I have linked down below the programming video of how to program the MOSFET to change the settings on that. So I'll not particularly go into that now. What we will do though, is we will do the gloved operation. So I'm just going to chuck the stock back in. In fact, I'm going to do the stock in reverse with the gloves on. So thanks to the guys on my Discord who recommended this to me as a feature in my video. And if you've got a recommendation, yes, I know about the range. I agree, I need a better range. I am trying to work on that, and I am, speaking to people and seeing what I can organise. I would love a significantly better range. So yes, I know that one. If you've got other suggestions, that would be great. So got my gloves on, a little bit dirty. In terms of the battery space, I can definitely get into that little battery space and change the battery without any issue, which we'll discuss shortly. I can get the stock in there. I can compress those easily to get the stock in. I am having to use my chin a little bit because I'm holding it in the air, but I can get that in, and I can easily now adjust that stock to my desirable position. Thinking that kind of length is perfect for me. Selector, really easy. The trigger, loads of room in there. The mag release, easy. The charging handle, I love that. Now, usual issue is I know I'm adjusting it, I just can't tell you how much I'm adjusting that. but I can adjust that easily. I can release the bolt as well. The mag I can get in and out. The front sights I can easily get up and operate those without any issues whatsoever. Lovely piece of kit, and I could, with a speed loader, easily refill that and put that back in, which I'll comment on in a second. So I finished filming and remembered I've not actually done the accessory attachments, so we're going to need the Allen keys. I'm going to need our little bag of accessories. So in here we've got two side panels to just make it a little bit nicer on your hands, added a bit more grippy texture, and we've got a stopper, which I'm not actually sure on the appropriate way around. I don't know why I put it on the side. Some people like it like that. Some people seem to like it like that, and either get the hand up it, you know, it's your choice. But ultimately, to fit these, I'll show you one screw just because it's easier that way. I will link the M-lock video down below as well. So we drop our little screw in, we get the appropriate Allen key. There we go. We're going to drop one of these little retaining things on, and what we want to do is, when it focuses, there we go, it should be flat across the top, and the raised section should actually be pointing down like that, because what we're going to do is, when we stop dropping things, when we slot it into, now this one only has one anyway, so we're just going to put it horizontal like that, in line like that. We're going to fit it in there, and then if you look down into the gap, you can, I can definitely see, so get the Allen key in the screw, and as I turn it, it will turn, and it has turned sideways, and then I just tighten it down. That's now locked in there for me to use either as a front hand grip going forward. I've seen some people even use them like tiny little vert grips. Whatever your preference is in terms of fitting and things like that, that's now secure. And then all you do when you want to remove it or adjust it, put your Allen key back in and you twist, and I can see that that's gone sideways like that, and it just drops straight out. And it's nice and quick and simple and easy. And you just do the same for these. So you just drop your screw in from this side, you fit again the same orientation. Where's that focus? There we go. Same orientation. You just put these little retaining bits on, you slot it into the rail. I would put them quite far down initially, because these are going to have to sort of take up a lot of the slack there, so I put it quite far down, and then basically slot it in that way into the rail. Again, I will link to the M-lock video, and then just tighten it down and it'll secure it into place, and that just gives you a little bit more texture on each side for, you know, sort of retaining it and holding it still. So I hope that's been helpful. I'll come back to the rest of the video. So the battery space is particularly compact, so you have to remove the stock and open the battery compartment up. So we're going to try a 1200 milliamp 11.1. Now this is the long stick type. That's just far too long. It gets close but not in there. So next we're going to try a 2200 milliamp 7.4 nunchuck type. Now that pretty much will go in there. You can probably get the wiring in as well. Might be a little bit cramped, and you're going to have to do a little bit of fidgeting about, but should mostly go in there. And then we've got an 1100 11.1 short stick type, quite chunky. That goes in with absolute ease, loads of room for the wiring. And then same again, the Giant Power 7.4 1100 stick, you know, loads of room. So you're going to need a couple of those sort of 1000 or 1100 milliamp stick type short lipos to go in the stock. So in terms of the mag, this is a mid cap. A lot of these tend to come with high caps. This is a mid cap. The difference is we've got no hatch and no winding mechanism. So we have a spring with basically what we call a follower, like a little pushing plastic in the top there. So we need a speed loader or some sort of tool. If you want to be laboriously bored, you can feed BBs in one at a time, and they just push a spring down round a track, round inside the mag, until it's compressed. When they go into the hop unit, we release this tab at the top. The BBs, the spring inside basically pushes the big string of BBs up into the hop, and as our air nozzle is pushing them out, the spring continues to decompress and push the BBs out. Word of advice for long-term looking after mid-caps: do not leave them filled up, okay? If you leave them filled up, between 1 weekend and the next, you might be lucky, you might get away with it. What you might actually end up doing is, if the spring stays compressed, you are going to basically wear it out and it will lose its strength for pushing those BBs back out. So you might start to see feeding issues related to a weakened spring. So make sure that you empty your mags, including your high caps, at the end of a game day as well, to keep them nice and healthy. So that's the mag. So I'm not going to lie to you, I thought it was pretty cool looking initially. Having gone away and shot it, by the looks of the rear sight, I think it's a 416 style body with that slight raised bit at the back. I'm coming away with this even more happy with it. I think it's a fantastic piece of kit, and to see how well it's shot, in particular the range, absolutely blew me away. Like absolutely outstanding piece of kit. I was right about the cone. It definitely made it loud. It has got a real loud crack to it. It is a very distinctive noise. So, when you are mid-firefight, you let rip with this, people are going to know where you are very easily, because of it is pretty loud for such a tiny little thing. But it just, for me, this is like almost the ideal platform. It's super compact, all right rate of fire, amazing range, just great little feature set on it. M4 compatible, just fantastic little piece of kit. It looks great in the black and in the tan as well. So I have thoroughly enjoyed that immensely. I'm looking forward to the disassembly video as well, which will be linked down below when that's released. So hope you've enjoyed that. I will leave the usual videos at the end. Please do remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.